Prepare to witness the dance of death. More than just a College of the Swords bard, the Blade Dancer is a conduit of mystical energy. They can inflict radiant damage with their twin blade. They are a blur of motion cloaked in moonlight. Hello guys, Genuine here of Genuine Gaming, and here is my Blade Dancer build for Baldur's Gate 3. This is not an overpowered build, but a thematic one. You can play this build on Honor mode. If you find this video helpful, do not forget to like, and for more Baldur's Gate 3 videos, subscribe to the channel. Overview. What is my Blade Dancer? My Blade Dancer is agile in combat, a master in wielding two weapons, and has a mystical or magical connection. That would mean that it is a dex-based character who wields two weapons at the same time, who is a spellcaster. These are the very goals of my Blade Dancer build. If you want to use it as a companion, Minthara fits this build very well. This is mainly a College of the Swords bard built with Paladin and Monk dip. The Paladin level dip is for the Smite abilities, which we can get at level 2 Paladin. The Monk level dip is for the dexterous attacks, allowing us to use the weapons the Blade Dancer is proficient in to add her dexterity modifier on attack rolls and damage rolls. Although we only need level 1 Monk dip for this, I put in 2 levels of Monk for the Step of the Wind and Patient Defense ability to add flavor to the build. Gear and equipment. To give that sense of dancing during combat, I would suggest equipping her with Cloak of Displacement. The wearer of this item gains displacement. At the beginning of the wearer's turn, the cloak activates, granting enemies a disadvantage on attack rolls that target the wearer. This effect lasts until the wearer takes damage. It can be bought by the vendor in Danthelian's Dancing Axe in Worm Crossing. As for her armor, it could be any light or medium armor that utilizes her dexterity bonus to AC. As for her weapons, she can wield Latherian's Wrath and Falar Aluve in the early part of the game before she gets her Monk levels. Both of these swords are finesse weapons, allowing our Blade Dancer to use it with her dexterity modifier. Once she gains a Monk level, she can equip any good longsword that she can find. A good example of these are Blade of Oppressed Souls and Blackguard Sword. Also, during the early game, I suggest letting her use the Gloves of Dexterity to set her dexterity score to 18. Once she is able to reach her dexterity to 18, which is very late in the game, you can let her use gloves that will increase her damage, like the Dark Justiciar Gauntlets, giving your weapon attacks an additional 1d4 necrotic damage, or the Flawed Helldusk Gloves, giving your weapon attacks deal an additional 1d4 fire damage. Some rings can help her in her damage output, like Caustic Band, giving her weapon attacks deal 2 acid damage. If ever you want to cast her powerful spells during combat like Hold Person, the Helmet of Arcane Acuity could help her achieve that. Build. In the character creation, I suggest picking up an elf or a half-elf race to give that sense of gracefulness in combat. You can gain more if you choose a wood elf for that additional 1.5 meters of movement speed. The high elf race will give you an additional cantrip. The problem with this is that it uses your intelligence modifier for the attack rolls and save DC, but our Blade Dancer is a charisma-based spellcaster. The Drow is also a lore-friendly choice, as the Falar Aluve is a gift from the Elistre, the goddess of good aligned Drow, beauty, song, and freedom. For the first level, choose the Bard class. For your cantrips, choose Friends and Light. For your spells, choose Healing Word, Longstrider, Thunderwave, and Sleep. For her background, choose whatever background your Blade Dancer has. It will depend on what you want to roleplay. For her abilities, make her Dexterity 16, Charisma 16, and Constitution 14. The rest of the points are up to you. You can put it on Strength for more carrying capacity or Wisdom for better saving throws. For her skills, choose among the Dexterity and Charisma-based skills. I suggest including Persuasion and Deception, as they are usually used during dialogue. As a level 1 bard, the Blade Dancer gets Bardic Inspiration. She can add a 1d6 bonus to her ally's next attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. She has 3 charges of Bardic Inspiration. As a level 1 spellcaster, she has 2 level 1 spell slots. At level 2, the Blade Dancer gains the Song of Rest ability. She and her allies are revitalized as though they have taken a short rest. She also gains the Jack of all trades feature. She can add half of her proficiency bonus to ability checks that she is not proficient in. Choose Speak with Animals for her spell. She now has 3 level 1 spell slots. At level 3, the Blade Dancer chooses College of Swords for her subclass. As a College of Swords bard, she can choose a fighting style. For her fighting style, choose 2-weapon fighting. She becomes proficient in medium armor and scimitars. She also gains the Blade Flourish ability. It is an enhancement to Bardic Inspiration that provides a series of weapon actions: Defensive Flourish, Slashing Flourish, and Mobile Flourish. As a bard, she gains an expertise feature in 2 skills she is proficient in. I would suggest to put 1 on Persuasion. It all depends on what your party needs. For her spells, choose Hold Person. You can change the Speak with Animal spell with Shatter. She now has 4 level 1 spell slots and 2 level 2 spell slots. At level 4, she gets to choose a feat. For her feat, choose Dual Wielder Feat. It allows the Blade Dancer to use 2-weapon fighting while wielding 2 non-heavy weapons even if they aren't light. This would allow her to use Falar Aluve and the Therian's Wrath at the same time. You can choose any of the additional cantrip. Vicious Mockery is a good choice as it gets an improvement at character level 5. For your spells, choose Enhance ability. She now has 3 level 2 spell slots. At level 5, the Blade Dancer now has 4 charges for Bardic Inspiration. Her Bardic Inspiration is now improved. Instead of a 1d6 roll, it is now a 1d8. They also get recharged after a short rest. For her spells, choose Glyph of Warding. She now has 2 level 3 spell slots. At level 6, she now gets an extra attack as a College of Swords bard. She also gains the Counter Charm ability as a bard. She and her allies within 9 meters have an advantage on saving throws against being charmed or frightened. For her spells, choose Heat Metal. She now has 3 level 3 spell slots. At character level 7, the Blade Dancer jumps to the Paladin class. As a level 1 Paladin, she gets to choose a subclass. For her subclass, you get to choose any. I would suggest choosing the Oath of Vengeance to not easily break your oath. This is something to note because once you break your oath, you become an oath breaker. Although being an oath breaker still works in this build, it would cost you 1,000 gold pieces to restore your oath. She also gains 3 charges of Lay on Hands and 1 charge of Channel Oath. She also gains Divine Sense. It is a bonus action that gives the Blade Dancer an advantage on attack rolls against Celestials, Fiends, and Undead. It resets after a short rest. At character level 8, she is now a level 2 Paladin. As a level 2 Paladin, she gets the Smite ability. When she hits with a melee weapon attack, she may choose to expend a spell slot to inflict additional radiant damage. The higher the spell slot expended, the higher the damage. She also gets to choose a fighting style. For her fighting style, pick Defense for an additional AC. She now gains 1 level 4 spell slot. At character level 9, she jumps to her 3rd class, the Monk. As a level 1 Monk, she gets dexterous attacks, making her proficient weapons scale with her dexterity. She also gains Death Strikes and bonus unarmed strike. By this time, you will be able to find the Blade of the Oppressed Souls in the Mind Flayer colony. And since the Blade Dancer has a Monk class, she will be able to use the sword with her dexterity as her modifier for her attacks and damage rolls. At character level 10, the Blade Dancer still takes the Monk class. As a level 2 Monk, she gets the Patient Defense ability by spending a bonus action and a key point. Attack rolls against her have a disadvantage and she has an advantage on dexterity saving throw. She also gets Step of the Wind. She can dash or disengage by using a key point and a bonus action. At character level 11, she goes back to the Bard class. She chooses Freedom of Movement for her spell. She now has 2 level 4 spell slots. At character level 12, the Blade Dancer is now a level 8 Bard. As a level 8 Bard, she increases her dexterity to 18. She can now change her gloves of dexterity with another glove that can boost up her damage output, as I mentioned before in the gears and equipment section. She also now has 5 Bardic Inspiration charges. For her spell, choose Dimension Door for mobility purposes. She now has 3 level 4 spell slots and 1 level 5 spell slot. Gameplay. The Blade Dancer is a build that has a lot of flavor in it. There are several ways to approach combat. You can beat your enemy with spells or strike them with her smites. You can act as a support member for your allies or simply act as a healer. I would pretty much recommend this build if you want to have great fun in your playthrough. Aside from being useful in combat, the Blade Dancer is also good at exploration and dialogue. It would depend on the skills that you gave her. If you made her an expert in sleight of hands, she can be a pickpocket or disarmer of your group. If you make her an expert in persuasion, she can be the face of your party. So that's about my Blade Dancer build. And if you're looking for a Minthara build, you can click the video for another build idea. See you in the next video. Ciao!